Do you have trouble getting motivated? Don't worry, motivation's bullshit. We all have trouble with motivation. But do you want to find out why? And more importantly, do you want to find out what's better? Keep watching and I'll show you. Hey, I'm Darnell. I spent 15 years in Navy Special Operations as an EOD technician. And pretty much what that means is I took apart bombs. If it was supposed to explode and it didn't, that's when they called the EOD technician. We'd go in there and take care of it. But to get to this point, it was a long journey. And I thought it was motivation that was going to get me there. And I thought it was motivation that was going to make the difference. But during my journey, I found out that that wasn't really the case. So I decided to join the military at the age of 26 and go into the SEAL Corpsman training pipeline. Basically what that means was I was going to be shipped off to Navy boot camp, and then I was going to go to the Corps School, which is basically the Navy's medic, and then I was going to go off to SEAL training and BUDS. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was a surfer hippie. I knew that I needed to pass a physical screening test to get there, and I stayed pretty motivated doing that. I never did pull-ups before, but I knew that for this test I was going to have to swim, run, do push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups. And so I started practicing those things. Every morning I'd get up and I'd go for a run around this baseball field that was near our house. I had no clue how far I was running. I would just run until I was tired. And then I would do push-ups, sit-ups, and I didn't have a pull-up bar for a while until I found a way to kind of just practice pull-ups. And then once I had done those, I'd run around the baseball field a couple more times. And then I would go home, I would shower, and I'd get ready to go work 2 jobs because I was working 2 jobs at the time. And then I'd come home at the end of the evening and I'd go run around the field a couple more times. And I would do that every day. And in the mornings it was fine because it was just get out of bed and it's something I'm going to go do. The motivation was there and it worked. And at the end of the days, when I was getting kind of tired, it was a little harder to get motivated to do those things. But the motivation still worked there to continue on. So once I was in the Navy and I got into boot camp, you have to pass this thing called a PST. It's a physical screening test to make sure that you have the minimum requirements to be able to go off to SEAL or EOD training. So in boot camp, I was feeling pretty good. I was 26, I was young, full of, piss and vinegar and ready to go. And so I go to do this PST. I didn't have too much trouble with the push-ups or the sit-ups. With the pull-ups, I kind of struggled, but I passed. And then it came down to the run. And I was kind of scared that I wasn't going to make it because in boot camp, they do the test, I believe it was week 3 or 4. So you've been in these rooms and working with these guys for, a couple weeks from all over the nation. And so we all brought our own special, variety of the cold and the flu and everything. And so everybody gets this boot camp crud. And it's pretty terrible. It's like having your whole sinuses filled up with junk and you can't breathe. It's in your lungs. There's all sorts of stuff that's just hampering your ability to perform, right? You're in boot camp, so you're up at 5 in the morning and going to sleep at 9 at night. That's the schedule. You're moving all day and they're doing stuff to you. So I go out to this run and it's 6 laps around the track and you have to finish it in 11 minutes. So I start running. By about lap 4, I had to stop and go onto the infield of this track and just cough up and almost throw up spit and mucus and stuff. It was kind of nasty, but I couldn't breathe. And I had to have this motivation kick in. And motivation in those seconds does work because you need that little pep. I had to get out there and I had to get back on that track and I had to get running again. Because it was either continue on this track that I was on or go back to or go to the Navy fleet. If you don't pass that screening test, you just get put in with everybody else. Not that that's bad, but that's not what I wanted. That wasn't my motivation. That's not my high performance attitude. And it would have just been a defeat. So I did end up making it. I had 7 seconds left over, but I ended up passing the whole screening test and I was able to move on. Super happy about that stuff. So later in Corps School, when I was learning to become a medic, it was the same. I was able to get up in the mornings and work out and go to school for 8, 10, 12 hours and then work out in the evenings. And motivation worked for that. It kept me going and in the gym, and you could put on some music or something and get through what you were trying to do. So where it really starts failing is after core school. I graduated and I came out to sunny San Diego, where BUDS happens, where all the SEALs go to effectively go through a 6-month screening program to weed out those without the motivation to be there. And it's tough. You have to keep going. And that's where motivation gets thrown in the trash can. And that's when I found out that it really didn't matter. Because the schedule is this. You get up at 5 in the morning. Everybody gets together and musters, accountability. Make sure everybody's ready to go. You run over to breakfast, eat breakfast, you run back. And for the next 4 hours, you have instructors that are just abusing you. They're yelling at you. You're getting wet. You're getting sandy. You become sugar cookies. You're carrying logs. You're carrying boats. You're going on swims. You're getting your gear inspected, which you never pass. You get wet and sandy again. So once that 4 hours of getting beaten working out is done, you go and you run off to lunch, and you run back, and you do it for another 4 hours. And then you go off and you get dinner, and you come back, and on many days you do it for another 4 hours. So you have these 12-hour days where you're just getting abused, right? From 5 in the morning till 5 at night. Cold, wet, miserable, shaking because you're so cold in the Pacific Ocean. You're just lying in the surf to make sure that you're cold. You're doing 8 hours of push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, dips, running. So even if you were ready for that, after that first and second week of doing that, it all compounds. And every night, once you're done for the day, you go clean your gear and you reset for the next day. And there's no motivation when that alarm goes off the next day at 5 a.m. You don't sit there and say, yeah, let's do it again. Let's go put on some warm clothes. Let's go for a run. Let's go sit in the Pacific Ocean until we're shaking and shivering. And then let's go take these sore muscles, which hurt. Like, if you've ever done any workout and you get that onset muscle soreness, like, that's how you are the whole time. You're just in this abused, beat down state. And you can't tell me that motivation is going to work. Motivation never worked for me. It was mindset, it was routine, and it was habit. I was not going to quit. I was not going to let them win. I was going to go in there every single day and try to excel. And it was simply a habit. My alarm went off. I got up out of bed. I got dressed. I went downstairs. You have to get this machine-like mentality. And that's how you win. But how does that apply to everybody? It's whatever you're doing. You want to become an NFL player? Machine-like mentality. Olympian, any other professional NBA, NFL sports. You want to own a business and start it up? You want to become a CEO? You want to own a Ferrari or a Lambo? You want to have that excellent house? You want to take vacations whenever you want to? You have to have a machine-like mentality. The alarm goes off. You get up. You start your day. You get going. And it's okay not to have motivation a lot of times. Because if you're in that routine and that habit, you'll get there. But that's how it's built. That's what the statement is, that Rome wasn't built in a day. Because you might have motivation for a day to do something. I mean, I've had motivation several times where I've failed. Oh, I'm motivated to lose weight. Okay. I'm motivated to go for a run. So maybe I'll go for a run. But then it's not a habit. One single run is not going to change anything. It wasn't until I started this T-2 program in getting myself back into shape that I'm consistently running every day now. I'm consistently working out. And that's what it takes. You need to follow a program or something like the other videos and programs I have that will allow you to keep on a path. And then once you do that, that's when you start making all these other breakthroughs where your business gets better, your finances get better, your mental health gets better, your physicality and your diet gets better. You know, everything follows in. So those are the habits, those are the patterns. You get yourself in the habits and patterns, regularly doing things, and it'll keep you moving forward. Maybe now and then you need motivation for a little sprint or something like that where you're going to work an extra long day or something, or go run a marathon. But for the rest of that time, it's that daily mindset that'll set you apart and that'll get you your dreams that you're working towards. The stories and examples and experiences from your life make sense on why motivation is bullshit and why it's mindset, routines, and habits. Those are going to move you forward. All right, thumbs up or thumbs down? Hey, let us know in the comments exactly what you think of that. Where have you found it? Does motivation work for you at all? Has it ever worked on a long time frame, 6 months, a year? The time frames that it needs to radically change your life? Hey, take care. YouTube's going to have some other recommended videos up there for you, and I hope you enjoy those too. Enjoy your day. Take care. Keep those routines, habits, and mindsets working for you. Darnell's out of here.